I'm not sure if I'm going crazy or what. It all began with Aunt Mildred's will. Honestly, inheriting anything from her was unexpected. We weren't exactly close. She was more of a strict librarian with a permanent side-eye kind of person. But apparently, in her infinite wisdom, she decided I deserved her ornate vanity mirror with historical significance. Historical significance? More like dust bunnies in a chipped frame. Still, free furniture is free furniture, especially when you're a perpetually broke freelance writer like me. The mirror itself was surprisingly heavy, a dark mahogany frame encasing a sheet of glass so clear it seemed almost bottomless. I hauled it back to my tiny apartment, shoving aside mountains of laundry to make space for it. The first few days were uneventful. I glanced in the mirror as I brushed my teeth, wincing at the dark circles under my eyes. Thanks, late-night writing deadlines. But then, something subtle started. Maybe it was my imagination, but the reflection seemed different. Not just a reflection, but almost alive. It mirrored my every move, of course, but with a slight delay, a flicker of something unsettling in its eyes. One morning I was putting on eyeliner, feeling particularly frumpy. Ugh, I muttered, stabbing my eye with the pencil for the second time that week. In the mirror, the reflection mimicked the movement, but with a dramatic flourish. It slammed the eyeliner down on the dressing table, then turned its head to me with a smirk. It looked mocking. My hand flew to my face, half expecting the sting of another poke, but there was nothing. Just a faint tingling sensation where the reflection had smirked. Weird. But hey, maybe I just needed more sleep. Except the weirdness escalated. My reflection started becoming bolder. It would laugh when I got a rejection email, its laugh echoing my own insecurities back at me. It would linger on a pimple on my chin, zooming in until it seemed like a gaping crater. It amplified every flaw, every doubt I had about myself. My work started suffering. I couldn't focus, my mind constantly critiquing my writing through the voice of my mocking reflection. My social life took a nosedive. Hanging out with friends felt like walking a gauntlet of self-deprecation. Every joke I made, every laugh that didn't sound forced, felt like a battle against the constant negativity pouring out of the mirror. One evening, I came home after a particularly rough day. My editor had torn my latest piece to shreds, and my best friend had canceled our plans last minute because, stuff. Exhausted and defeated, I slumped onto my bed and stared at the mirror. This time, the reflection didn't mimic me. It stood there, perfectly still, with a single tear rolling down its cheek. It was me. But a sadder, almost desperate version. Then it spoke. Its voice was a faint whisper, but it echoed in my head with chilling clarity. You're letting them win. You're letting them control you. My heart hammered in my chest. Was this some kind of hallucination? A symptom of sleep deprivation? But the reflection continued, its voice gaining strength. Don't you see? They're feeding on your doubt. They thrive on your insecurities. It was terrifying, but some part of me resonated with its words. All those people, all those rejections, they had chipped away at my confidence, making me question everything about myself. Maybe the mirror wasn't the enemy. Maybe it was just a reflection of a deeper problem. A spark of defiance ignited within me. Who are they? I whispered back, my voice trembling. The reflection tilted its head, a flicker of sadness in its eyes. Everyone. The voices in your head. The people who tell you you're not good enough. Over the next few days, a strange codependency formed between me and the mirror. I would sit in front of it, venting my frustrations, my anxieties. The reflection would listen intently, sometimes offering a sad smile, sometimes a knowing nod. It was a bizarre form of therapy, but it helped. Slowly, I started to see the world through a slightly different lens. The rejection emails didn't sting as much. The canceled plans didn't feel like personal attacks. I started focusing on my writing again, fueled by a newfound determination. But the darkness wasn't gone entirely. There were still moments, especially late at night, when the reflection would morph back into its mocking self. The taunts, the negativity, all came flooding back. But now, I had a weapon. I'd look the reflection straight in the eye and say, "Not today, not anymore." My voice would sound surprisingly strong, and the reflection would falter. The mocking smirk would flicker, replaced by a grimace of frustration. It was like a parasite, weakening when its host started fighting back. One day, as I was rewriting a scene, the reflection started its usual routine. It mimicked my furrowed brow, its voice a venomous hiss. "You'll never be good enough. Just another wannabe writer drowning in rejection." But this time, I didn't flinch. I slammed my laptop shut, the sound echoing in the small apartment. "No," I said, my voice firm. "This isn't about them anymore. It's about me proving them wrong, proving myself wrong." The reflection contorted, its eyes filled with a malicious glint. It screamed, a sound that resonated within my skull but had no volume in the real world. The mahogany frame of the mirror crackled, spiderwebs of white spreading across its surface. Fear threatened to consume me, but I forced myself forward. This was it, the final confrontation. "You're just a reflection," I yelled, my voice wavering slightly. "You're not real. You have no power over me." The reflection lunged toward the glass, its screams turning into a distorted screech. It reached through the mirror, a skeletal hand with impossibly long claws, but it couldn't touch me. The glass itself became a barrier, shimmering with a faint protective light. The room grew colder, filled with a malevolent energy. The cracking on the mirror intensified, and with a deafening crash, it shattered into a million pieces. The reflection dissolved into a swirling black mist, its shrieks echoing through the broken shards. Then silence. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of ozone. I stood there, panting, surrounded by glittering glass and a strange sense of emptiness. The mirror was gone, its dark magic finally vanquished. But the victory felt hollow. The insecurities, the doubts, they wouldn't vanish overnight. Yet I had fought back. I had stared down the darkness in the mirror and emerged, bruised but not broken. The next morning, I woke up with a newfound clarity. I swept up the glass shards, a small pang of sadness hitting me at the sight of the destroyed frame. But it was a painful reminder of the battle fought and won. Later that day, I sat down at my computer, ready to rework the scene that had been plagued by negativity. This time, the words flowed freely. The rejection emails still stung. The canceled plans still brought a sense of disappointment, but these feelings didn't cripple me anymore. They were just hurdles, not insurmountable obstacles. The mirror was gone, but its reflection remained, not in the glass, but in my own mind. A constant reminder of the darkness within, but also of the strength I possessed to overcome it. I knew the fight wouldn't be over. Doubt would creep back in, whispering insecurities. But now I knew how to silence it. I would look at it head on and say, "Not today, not anymore." Weeks turned into months, and the memory of the shattered mirror started to fade. Life wasn't sunshine and rainbows, but the constant background hum of self-doubt had quieted. My writing improved, my pitches started landing, and a sense of accomplishment bloomed within me. One evening, while browsing a local antique store, a familiar glint caught my eye. Nestled on a dusty shelf, amidst chipped porcelain dolls and tarnished silver, was a fragment of a mirror. The mahogany frame was intricately carved, with a faint resemblance to the one I'd destroyed. My heart stuttered in my chest. It couldn't be. As I approached, The store owner, a wiry old man with milky cataracts, shuffled over. "Ah, that one," he rasped, his voice sandpapery with years of disuse. "Been sitting there for ages. No takers. Seems folks find it unsettling." Unsettling was an understatement, but a morbid curiosity gnawed at me. "Can I take a closer look?" He grunted in assent, handing me the shard. It wasn't the clearest reflection, but there, etched faintly within its depths, was a woman's face. Not a mocking sneer, but a melancholic smile, a flicker of sadness in her eyes. Suddenly, a memory jolted me. The night the mirror shattered, the reflection's last words before dissolving into the black mist. Everyone, the voices in your head, the people who tell you you're not good enough. This mirrored fragment, was it another reflection? Another fragment of doubt trapped within its depths? This time I didn't feel fear, but a strange sense of empathy. Perhaps this mirror held countless reflections, each harboring the insecurities of its past owners. "I'll take it," I said, surprising even myself. Back at my apartment, I held the shard in my hands, the melancholic face staring back. An idea sparked. A story. A story about a woman battling a magical mirror. A story that mirrored, pun definitely intended, my own struggle. The words flowed freely, fueled by a newfound understanding. It wasn't just my story, but a story anyone who'd ever grappled with self-doubt could relate to. As I wrote, a strange warmth spread through me, a sense of purpose I hadn't felt before. Days later, I received an email from a literary magazine. They wanted my story, my first published piece. A wave of exhilaration washed over me, tinged with a bittersweet feeling. The mirror might be gone, but its fragments kept reminding me. The battle against doubt was constant, but so was the power to overcome it. I tucked the mirror shard away in a drawer, not as a reminder of darkness, but as a symbol of resilience. A small token of the day I stared into the reflection of my insecurities and emerged stronger, a story waiting to be told, a flicker of hope for anyone trapped in the prison of their own doubts. And I started writing my next story,